presidents, Bush, 41 and 43, say we're not going to the convention. Paul Ryan says, I'm not yet ready to endorse. How do we fix this rift in the Republican Party?
I think only Donald Trump can fix that rift, and it all is dependent on how he acts on stage at rallies and how he's able to talk to the folks behind the scenes or make inroads in Washington, extend an olive branch. I don't think he's done a lot to do that, and I think over the weekend, if you were watching any of his rallies, he just went on trashing the establishment.
But Wesley, the lesson I think he's taken away from the last year is he can do things his way. He doesn't have to be conventional and reach out to Paul Ryan or any of these other people as presidents have in the past.
He can do whatever he wants. I mean, there are no apparent repercussions for anything he does. I mean, the Taco Bowl alone, which I guess we could talk about in a minute.
Yeah, well, we've got the picture. Go ahead as you describe it.
He's obsessed with the Taco Bowl.
I can't believe it.
He's been talking about the Taco Bowl for the past hour.
It's a tostada. Let's be honest.
I mean, whatever. I mean, the brand. I mean, the sort of Taco Bell branded Taco Bowl or whatever. Yeah. But it's just.
I think it's amazing about him. It's like it was a water gun fight, and he's brought a paintball gun through this entire thing.
Yeah.
And he's doing it by his own rules. So I wonder if having a Bush 41 and 43 and the establishment say, we don't want to endorse you, I think his supporters don't care.
It just makes them. It's
better for him in many ways.
Somebody asked me what the high point of Donald Trump's campaign was this week and what the low point was. And the low point is a Taco Bowl. But the high point, I think, is coming out and telling Speaker Ryan that he doesn't endorse his agenda.
Right.
And I think that he did that on the night he was in West Virginia. And I think that it is an example of how he's rallying behind the voter instead of rallying behind the politicians. And they take that and they like that he's fighting back, and it works for him.
It's great fuel.
The issue is, I mean, he's got the voters behind him, but he's got an electoral map that's not friendly, number one. And number two, Hillary Clinton's going to run $1 billion campaign, and she has all of the benefit of hindsight. You know, she can Monday morning quarterback everything that the Republicans did wrong, and he's got to get fundraisers on his side. He's got to get money on his side, and they have to come out with a cohesive plan to go up against her.
Does he have the discipline to do that, as you've watched him, as you've reported on him? Does he have the discipline to do that?
I don't think so.
It is worth pointing out two nominees, not presidents, Republican nominees. Bob Dole endorsed Donald Trump, and John McCain said, "Yeah, okay, I guess I'll support the guy." So there is some falling in line.
That's so
was there a gun near his head?
If I must.
I can't believe he can do that, though, when he called John McCain not a war hero.
Right.
That, to me, is a remarkable thing.
One president who's not falling in line, President Obama. Here's what he had to say at his press conference on Friday.
This is not a reality show. This is a contest for the presidency of the United States.
Okay, since it's Derby weekend, let's put the odds at Donald Trump becoming the next president of the United States. What do you think?
Oh, I can't.
You don't have to set a number.
I have not had enough coffee to even get to that.
Okay.
I'm supposed to say like 1,000 to 1 or something. I don't know. I honestly don't.
You know what's so interesting about this? This question makes people stammer.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes reporters stammer. You're not really sure.
I don't put anything past anybody
at this point.
If we've learned anything this political season, predictions are a bad idea. And I think that, you can ask me, I think it's 50-50.
50 coin toss right now.
Yeah.
Coin toss.
Yeah.
All right, so today's Mother's Day, as everyone here knows. Sheryl Sandberg, the COO of Facebook, you recall she lost her husband a year ago about this time. David died very suddenly. She posted something on Facebook, which I thought was worth talking about today. She's obviously become a single mother. She frames it by saying, look, I know I have resources other people don't, but I'm realizing what it means to be a single mom. She writes in part, the United States is the only developed economy in the world that does not provide paid maternity leave. Almost a third of working mothers don't have access to any kind of paid leave to care for themselves or their families if someone gets sick. Instead of providing support, we all too often leave the families who are struggling the most to fend for themselves. The odds are stacked against single mothers in this country, yet so many give everything they have and go on to raise incredible children. The U.S. Family and Medical Leave Act protects a parent's job for up to 12 weeks, but unpaid. We're the only civilized country, Alison, in the world that doesn't provide proper maternity leave.
There's so much to appreciate about this Facebook post. One is that in Lean In, she talks about people, women mostly, but men who get in positions of power being able to make significant change, and she does this. That book actually starts with Sheryl Sandberg. She's hugely pregnant. She has to park all the way across the Google parking lot, and she goes in and she says, we need parking for pregnant women. And the guys say, okay, but nobody ever asks. Right. So I appreciate that she's using her position. I also sort of appreciate that she is acknowledging sort of sort of for the first time, she got a lot of heat in that book about, you're Sheryl Sandberg.
privilege of
The
it.
privilege of it all.
Right.
And now she always had sympathy, but now she also has empathy as
Yes.
a single mom, and using that position to highlight the issues of poverty that are associated with not having paid leave.
We are in the company, Wesley, only of Papua New Guinea in our maternity leave policy. And that's not company you want to be
That's
in when it
right.
comes to maternity leave. The rest of the Western world gives women the time they need with their kids.
I just think it's crazy that this hasn't been settled like a zillion years ago.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. The idea that, I have a lot of friends who have to strategize, when to have the baby, so that the carryover extends into the next calendar year.
Right.
So that's a whole other thing in your doing it cycle.
Yeah.
When you're thinking about when should we have this baby?
By the way, that is the medical term.
The doing it cycle.
Yes. Thank you
Yes.
for bringing some science to the show.
I lived overseas for about a year recently until Donald Trump pulled me back. And I know that people over there, and especially in Britain, where you can take years off if you want to, essentially, they look at us like we are crazy for a number of reasons.
I was going to say, what number is maternity
Specifically,
leave on
no,
that
maternity
list?
leave is extraordinarily high on the list
Right.
because they just think that we don't have any value for families in this country or for regular people.
Real quick, Wesley, I want to get you on the record here. You write so well about culture. Hamilton, breaking the record, 16 Tony nominations.
Yeah.
How do you explain this phenomenon? Is it like anything you've seen before?
No, it's not like anything anybody's seen. It's kind of like the Trump of musicals, of musical theater, of theater period. Not in terms of its politics, but in terms of its juggernautness. I don't know. It's a great show. I think it has made people excited about a lot of different aspects of what the
Schoolhouse
theater
Rock
can do.
for our generation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
My kids were debating with friends who to go as from Hamilton for Halloween.
Oh, right, yeah.
That tells you
Really?
something.
My daughter had a school project about the founding fathers this week. We went into the parent-teacher conference. She had to draw Thomas Jefferson. She drew him with an afro.
With my hair?
Because she thinks Thomas Jefferson is David Diggs. It's incredible. But they're asking questions about history. It's amazing what that show's done. 16 nominations.